Welcome back. It is the Braves Central podcast. The Braves take 2 of 3 from Milwaukee, heading home for a 3-game set with the Rockies. Chris Dimino, Barrett, Sallee with you. Chris, look, we're not going to say it's a jumping off point, but dang, that 3-game set against the Brewers was refreshing.
It was different. Be nice if you can double it up. Day off today. Come on home.
Day off today.
Let's see what happens. I don't know.
Happy plane flight.
I don't know if anybody's heard. The Colorado Rockies are coming to town, and then the New York Mets are in town. So here's the deal. If this was a college football season, you'd say, whoa, don't overlook the Rockies. Looking ahead to the Mets.
Trap game.
Can't overlook anybody at this point. So I know we got to do last night real quick, and then quite honestly, there's not a ton to preview with the Rockies because nobody really knows who they are. Their run for infamy is really the biggest storyline in baseball when it comes to losing teams. Baltimore struggled. Braves have struggled. They've been underachievers. Nobody really cares day to day what the Rockies do, but there's a moment, it seems like every few weeks ago, hey man, are they still on pace to be the worst team ever? Let me confirm this morning as they get ready to play on Thursday. They'll play San Francisco later to finish out that series after a loss last night. Yes, it is verified, bona fide, by every measure that you can find that they are still in pace to be the worst team in baseball history. I don't feel bad for a lot of guys, but Kyle Freeland is a guy who pitched last night, and it doesn't matter. Like, nobody cares about Kyle Freeland and the Colorado Rockies unless you're just dealing in a really big picture view of how bad do you have to be the worst team in baseball history. So that's a story. I get it. Kyle Freeland is 1-8, and he was supposed to be, and I will not call him a savior, but if you remember a few years ago, he was going to be the frontline guy for the Colorado Rockies as they found their way back. Well, he's 1-8, and you're just burying him. And I don't know why I did it. I listened to a post-game interview with him this morning, and I give him credit. He shows up for work every day. If there was ever going to be a guy who called out sick, like if he was working a desk job, if he was a shipping clerk, there'd be a certain moment where he'd just go, yeah, not today, man. I'm beat up. This company stinks. I can't fix what we got going on here. But he keeps showing up. But it doesn't do him any good. But the reason I obviously we have them coming in, but I swear to God I read this because I wanted to know, hey, what's going on with Orlando Arcia? Well, he's 5 for 26, 1 home run, 2 RBIs, hitting less than 200. Throw him out. Don't care. Right then I found the thing that I was really looking for was Chris Bryant, the update. Well, he's back to rehabbing, except he can't run. It hurts him when he runs. Now, I'm not telling you he's not hurt. I'm not telling you whatever it might be physically, emotionally, mentally for this guy, he's going to get paid all his money. But how are you actually rehabbing as a baseball player if you can't run because that hurts?
That's problematic.
I mean, what are you doing? What's your rehab?
Just swinging, and that's it.
You got a bad back. How are you swinging?
Yeah, well, yeah, that's true. That's true. I don't even know. I don't even know what you can possibly do at that point.
So the idea that Bud Black finally got fired, the ownership has been a problem. This is who's coming in. Like, I say all that to say all this. I don't know what's going to happen for the 3 days that you play the Colorado Rockies, but when I tell you, as bad as it's been for the Braves, they don't have one advantage. Not one. Zip. How often can you say that if you look at everything between two baseball teams over a 3-day period, that guy has nothing on you? Doesn't guarantee 3 wins because this team has struggled to win 2 in a row. That ain't happened in a month. It could, but it ain't happened in a month. How often will you look at anything anybody can give you, from the basics to the deepest dive analytically, and say, there's not one place that there's an advantage? So that's what you're facing as you make your trek to whatever it is Braves fans want this team to make their trek to. By Sunday night, you'll know a little bit more about the Atlanta Braves. And if it's not a 3-0 sweep, and I don't call for sweeps, but if it's not a 3-0 sweep, please don't tell me on Monday, but wait, now we got the main course because the Mets are coming. That's not a thing if you don't take care of Colorado this weekend.
You're right. It is not a thing unless you take care of Colorado. But I think with this Braves team, Look, the pitching has been fantastic. We saw what Schwelly can do. I don't think there's any doubt in my mind that Schwelly and Sale will be an all-star. It was great to see Schwelly come in after a loss. And we talked about this in the pregame show on the Braves Radio Network, how incredible he's been after losses. Well, he did it again, and he did it again in complete game fashion. So that was great to see. And now we have Strider going in game one, or no, I'm sorry, we have Bryce Elder going in game one against the Rockies. We know what he did last time out in a big spot because he was in that spot. Hey, coming after a loss, can we get the job done? Can Bryce Elder come out and pitch like a star? And he pitched, I think, at the time, best game a Braves pitcher had pitched all year.
Well, you could still
obviously,
say
obviously Schwelly did that yesterday, so maybe that's changed a little bit.
Elder's game was, I don't care about game scores and everything else. You could declare that Bryce Elder threw the best game that anybody's thrown this year. And
you could declare that, yes.
Yeah, the problem is, what was the result?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I have 3 pitching performances in a week's time where everybody went over 100 pitches. That's good. I had one where I had to get Sallee out after 7. I got a complete game, and I got an 8th inning. So I got a 7, 8, and 9 in there. And that's really good news because it is time to stretch these guys out. Summertime is here. I know you don't want to burn anybody out, but there is, like, you can't keep anything in reserve. You're not in a position. You know who's in a position to pull guys after 5 and 6 innings? People who are not 6, 7, 8, 9 games under 500. If you're 12 above, if you're Tarek Skubal, you might not want to come out after 7, but if the Tigers are winning 7-1, here's what I'm telling Tarek Skubal. Hey, brother, we're thinking long-term. There are certain teams that can't be thinking long-term. We sit in a city right now where we can't be thinking long-term. If you got it, and I say this all the time, if you're lathered up and you know the strike zone and you're ready to go, instead of bringing a guy in who doesn't, none of those things. Don't tell me about the bullpen. Don't tell me about an umpire scouting report. I got a guy who's just lived it for the last 2+ hours. Him at 80% is better than anybody you're going to pull out of the bullpen. Keep him in. Not to burn him. I'm not talking 130 pitches. But if it's 90, you keep going, son. That's what I'm affording Bryce Elder. That's what I'm affording Schwellenbach. And that's what I'm affording Chris Sale. Spencer Strider's not at that point yet because I don't know. I do think they're trying to protect him a little bit. He could be a 5 and 6 inning guy right now. And that might be if you're up 4-1, you go, oh, well, do we keep him in? I don't know. If you're down 4-1, he's coming out. They're going to try to protect him and lengthen him out a little bit more and hope that in September and October, if there was October baseball, you've got a guy that you didn't burn out during the year.
You mentioned something in the leadoff show yesterday about Ronald Acuña and the fact that he might be better served to be out of the leadoff spot. 7 for 12 in the series, but the RBI numbers outside of the home runs, it's still a problem. It's still something that needs to be addressed. And I mean, look, I would say that Nick Allen had a really good week, a really good series, I should say, at the plate, and Ronald drove him in. But you can't count on that. You can't count on Eli White / Nick Allen to get on base. So now that we have seen Ronald play this way, is there a chance? I need you to sell, because you sold me yesterday on Ronald being out of the leadoff spot.
Yeah, I'm not here to pitch it. I can tell you, though, maybe, I don't know, if you got a little bit of time during the day and you can send something to me, what was the day that Ronald became a leadoff hitter? Because remember, that was the big spark, right? Oh, we're going to make him a leadoff hitter, and he's going to be good at it, and we're going to win games. Well, he's been back. He's been hitting leadoff, and until, what did you win? 2 out of 3? And everybody goes, yeah, look at us. Well, what were you, 3 and 14 before that? I think it was 3 and 14 before that. Mm-hmm. So what if the spark is him not hitting leadoff? Like, if I'm going to make a pitch, if I'm going to the debate club, or if I'm walking in to do a pitch at a corporation, my pitch is, I saw what happened and everybody got excited. Oh, look, he's a leadoff hitter, and he could start a game and we're up 1-0. And then we carry that momentum. Okay, and they went on a streak. What if now the streak or the will be better is taking him out of that spot? I can't have guys who have a 260 on base percentage hitting in front of him if I expect him to be a productive player. Because either it's going to be, I hate to say this, did somebody not got lucky to be on base, but was somebody on base 2 times instead of 1 time, 1 time instead of no times, which is what guys who hit 230 When guys got a 260 on base percentage, you don't expect them to be on base 2 times. So why not put, in theory, the better hitters right in front of him? Now, you want to get crazy? What if it's Ozzie, Baldwin, Acuna? I don't know. Everybody keeps telling me this on-base streak is a big thing. So run with it. You want to tell me it's a big thing? Prove it. Let Ozzie hit leadoff. But he doesn't have good numbers hitting leadoff. Okay, Ronald Acuña didn't have any numbers hitting leadoff until he did. Nobody cares about the 1-0 home run anymore. They don't.
Yeah.
It was JoJo the dog-faced boy. It was like a circus act. And even Kyle Schwarber has been moved down because you realize at a certain point, I need run production. And it doesn't mean you can't do it on a certain day. Like, that's the other part. But I don't believe Ronald Acuña hitting leadoff every day is the most productive way to use him, because I can't have guys who don't get on base enough hitting in front of him. And by the way, you lead off, let's say it's once a game, even if it's twice a game. Okay, solo home runs are nice. 3-run home runs are better. And that's my pitch. And I would leave the room and I would say, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. I'm going to go now. Like, if I was
drop the mic.
If I was a consultant, that would mean I'm going to a nice dinner after I held that meeting. Then I'm going to get a bed with a really nice thread count. And then you're going to fly me probably first class back to wherever it is I'm from. That would have been my pitch. I'm giving it to you for free. I don't need any of those things.
I'm with you, because the argument for it would be, like you said, getting people on base at the bottom of the lineup. And you mentioned 260 on base percentage. That's what Michael Harris was going into yesterday's game. And he would be theoretically one of those guys at the bottom of the lineup, and is one of those guys at times in the bottom of the lineup that the Braves are counting on to get on in front of Ronald Acuña outside of the first inning.
I don't know what day it was.
I'm with you on that.
I'm serious. If anybody could find it, and maybe I'll put it an intern. We got 48 interns running around here. I don't know what the hell they're doing. So maybe I would really not like to explain it. I would like to see somebody go, oh, okay, stop calling me Mr. Dimino. I don't care what you call me. Just don't.
Oh, yeah.
You can call me Chris. You can call me radio host. You can call me whatever. Just stop with the Mr. Dimino. But I would like somebody to maybe take an initiative. Now, you know what I'm going to do? I am going to do this. I'm going to gather them around before the regular show today that I host, and I'm going to say, hey, listen, I need something. Here's what I need. And I'm not going to explain it any further than find out the first day that Ronald Acuña hit leadoff. And then I want their record from that moment on for whatever that season was, and then the next year until he gets hurt again. So whatever it is, I want somebody to find that, because if that was the jump start, and remember, everybody said, wow, the offense really took off once you did that. Okay, what if the offense really takes off when he's hitting third? I'm willing to try, because I got nothing to lose. I'm still this many games under 500.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think it should be at least in consideration for this Braves team. So we'll see if Snit actually pulls that trigger at some point. Rockies coming in, Bobby Cox lives by that mantra. You got to win series. You got to win series. That's not true anymore. You got to start sweeping some. And this is a Rockies team that is prime for a sweep. We'll see if the Braves can get it done. This has been Braves Central. He's Chris Dimino. I'm Barrett Sallee. Don't forget, for Leadoff show coming your way, an hour and change before every single Braves game. You can hear that across the Braves radio network.